Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today in the locker room. I'm Alan Locher. Singer-songwriter Willie Tay, who now goes by Wils, was a rising pop star in Asia with more than 400,000 followers on his Instagram account. After spending some time to film his music videos in California, freely being himself, Wils decided he was tired of hiding his sexuality and told his Asian record label that he was gay. He told them he wanted to live his life openly as a gay man. And after that conversation, they informed him that he was no longer under contract with the record company and that if he ever wanted to have a career as an Asian pop star, he would have to hide his sexual orientation. Wills tried to log into his Instagram account shortly after that conversation, only to find that his account and all those 400,000 followers had been deleted. His dream came to a crashing halt. The label silenced him, all because he wanted to live his life openly as a gay man. Wils has not given up that dream and is putting all his energy into his new music. He's currently living in California and is about to release a pop EDM album. On June 28th, during Pride Month, he released Someone Who Loves You, a song he wrote to celebrate Pride. Wils is looking forward to hitting the road and performing his new music in 2021. And I'm so excited that he's here to share his story with all of you. Please welcome to the locker room, Wils. Did I
Hello,
get that all right?
everyone. You got it so right. It's so nice to have me. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. We got to talk a few months ago, thanks to Brian, but very, very briefly. So I'm excited that you're back. A happy belated Pride to you.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you
Did you
so
have a
much.
good Pride month?
Oh yeah, it was so nice. I celebrated with so many of my friends and even some family members, and I just felt so. I felt like I got all the energy of the celebrations from people, and also it's been like a year and a half, that the people have been staying at home. So it's like I could feel that extra energy that people wanted to, give more this time around.
Yeah, I haven't totally felt that. I mean, I usually am out in a big way celebrating Pride and got to see some friends for a pool party, but
Oh,
miss
that's
the
nice.
larger events. It's been a while due to the
Yeah,
pandemic. Due to the
yeah, yeah.
pandemic. So, what's life like now living in California?
I feel so free. Like I can be myself. Everything is just opened up, and life is like almost back to normal. It's still a little slow in terms of like getting people to do creative stuff, because I think people are used to, not working for a while now, and then now it's like going back. So it's like trying to get people to do a little creative stuff. It's like I need a little more nudging.
Getting people motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what were you like as a kid in Singapore?
I was very rebellious. I would, if my parents say something, I wouldn't listen to them, and I would always defy against. In school, I used to have like punk rock hair, like really long strands of like hair, and then I will wax them up, and I would always end up outside of the principal's office because I'm always defiant, and I was a very naughty boy. Like I never listened to my
Ah,
teachers. And
I wouldn't have guessed that. Well, I know there was a moment in class back in Singapore when your fellow classmates nominated you for a singing contest. Can you talk
yeah,
about that and
yeah,
how
yeah,
you did?
yeah. I was always a class clown, and my class nominated me secretly for this talent contest in school, and
Panic.
that yeah, they called my name, and I was like, why am I being called out? Because I didn't sign up for this. And then and they said, oh, please come on stage. It's a talent contest test. You sign up for it, so you're ready to perform. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh shit, I'm not prepared for this. And there was like a karaoke machine, and I was like, okay, fine. Since they, I looked at my classmates, and they all looked at me, and they were laughing, and I was like, okay, shit, it's like a joke, that they made. So I went up
You
on
went
stage.
along.
I went along and I was like, I can do this. And so I requested for a song on stage, and they started playing the song, and I started singing. And then I didn't know how to sing back then, and I was out of tune, and everybody was started to laugh, and I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing, but this is like, I'll just go with it. And so I kept singing, and it was so terrible because I was just tone deaf. And then I realized, like, oh wow, this is interesting. If I could sing and make people laugh, there must be something about like music that can kind of give people this response. So I decided that, okay, maybe I'm gonna take up a year of learning how to play the guitar and sing, and I'm gonna surprise my classmates the year after. So a year later, I signed up for the talent contest, and this time I went up on stage, and they were like, "Why is he going up on stage again?" And then I went up. I was like, okay. I requested for the song, and then it was accompanying my guitar, and I started playing, and I started singing, and I was very emotional in that song. And as I looked around school, I could see people started tearing up. And I was like, wow, it's like, if music could make people laugh or cry, I would love to do this for the rest of my life, because I'm able to bring out the emotions of people. So I felt like that was like the calling. And thanks my classmates for making it a joke that I discovered.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing your determination to teach yourself guitar, all of that. Do you remember what song you
Thank
sang?
you. I sang the song "Cannonball" by Damien Rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you also learn another instrument? Did you learn piano as well?
I did, yeah. I learned how to play, just the chords to accompany my singing. I'm not like a really good player. I just like play the chords that can help to accompany, the voice. And yeah, I learned how to do that.
But I love that, your friends were, playing a joke sort of, and you just, took that determination. I mean, it says a lot about your character.
But it was embarrassing though.
I'm sure. I would bomb. I can't sing. And I don't think I can learn.
Everybody can learn. Everybody can learn singing. Yeah, I mean, I was tone deaf, but I was like, I just felt like if you can listen, like if you have a pair of ears that you're able to listen, and you can you hear your voice when you're speaking? You can, right?
Yeah.
So when you do that, when you play back on cassette tapes or recording, if you can hear yourself, then you can make amendments. You compare it to like whether it sounds like the song or not.
Well, as the gay boy I was, I pretended very well behind closed doors in my bedroom that I could sing. Definitely thought I was very good, but that was just for me and nobody else.
Oh my gosh.
So take me back to that family trip to Spain.
Okay,
and
so I went to Spain on a family trip. And I was in Retiro Park playing. I had a guitar that I traveled with because I was on my way back from Los Angeles to Singapore. And then I took my guitar to the park, and I was playing it, and I was singing. And this guy came up to me, and he was like, he started speaking Spanish, and I had no idea like what he was talking about. And then he handed me the phone, and on the other side there was this guy who said, "Hey, my friend says that you sing pretty well, and we have this party tonight. Would you like to join us for this party? It's going to be like an entertainment party." And I was like, this is so weird because I don't know who you are. I was thinking of that in my head, and I was like, I don't know who you are. Why would I come to your place? But at the same time, I was like, oh my god, this sounds so fun. I'm in a different environment, and I'm invited to a party at the house, and and an entertainment one. And I thought, okay, maybe I should just give it a try. And then also the guy who
were you performing professionally already at that time?
No, I was just like singing in the park, like on a like it was a very big lake, and there were a lot of families around there, and I was just like sitting by the lake and just playing a little song, and just
I love
enjoying
that
the
you would.
environment.
Yeah, I love that.
It's nice. It's nice to be in a park, and like it's just like so the nature, and then in different like it was also an experience for me just to be in a different environment, and I like traveling with my guitar.
Well, and performing is, you change having a musical instrument like that. I always talk about people who have the great ability to play piano, who can, be in a room that has a piano and their fingers go to that instrument and they change the entire environment in a second.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what you do in a park playing your guitar.
that's what music does, you know. It's just
Yeah.
like but I hope I wasn't bothering some families. You know? They must be like, we just want some quiet time in the park.
And you did go and play at that party, right?
I did, yeah. I went to the party, and then it was with a lot of like just it ended up being like a real kind of entertainment party where like celebrities of TV shows and a lot of entertainers from Spain. I mean, from Madrid were there, and I was underdressed because I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't know much about it. But yeah, I ended up playing in the party, and then one of the producers asked if I would like to stay in Spain to do a music video, and that was how I got my first like discovery of a chance of making a music
now
video.
it might still be up on YouTube, and if it is, I want you to send it to me because I was looking for it,
Okay,
but I couldn't
the
find
music video.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
okay,
Yeah,
because I couldn't find that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's under a different artist name. That's why you can't find it.
okay, and
Yeah.
it's Hola or hello or
Yes.
what was it?
Yeah, Hola. Exactly.
Hola.
Yeah.
And what was that like? I mean, first of all, to have somebody offer you that, and then to be in Spain and shoot that video. Talk about what that, because this was really before you became a pop singer. Like that was the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, I thought it was just like, when they said do a music video and single, I thought it was just like, like something really small and just like a little, yeah, something. I didn't expect it to be anything like what it turned out to be. I had a meeting with a group of creatives the day after, and they introduced me to the music video like set creator
Production
and production company, exactly. And then they were like, what ideas do you have? And I was like, I don't know, I need to write the song first, and I was like, and so I went around neighborhood, and I love Spain because it was such a open community where people love being outdoors, and people love inviting. Like I had friends that I met over there that invited me to their their homes, and then from there on they would go to other people's homes. It's just like very like, please come to my house.
It's very welcoming. It sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
I was there in 1995. I loved Spain. I would love to go back.
Wow.
I've not been back in a very long time, but I would love to go back.
Yeah. Did you just go to? Was it Madrid?
Just vacation, Madrid and Barcelona.
Oh, that's so nice. Those are really, really nice places. And then the food is.
I think Toledo, if that's correct.
Oh, I haven't been there before.
I think it was a day trip. I could be. If Toledo is a place in Spain, then I went there.
I think so, because I've never been there.
Yeah, it was a day trip or something.
Yeah,
I would love to.
You find the time to go back. It's just it's so nice. The food is amazing if you like seafood.
I'm not a big seafood, but I do like Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Not a big seafood. So you wrote the song that you recorded the video for?
I did, yeah. I wrote the song. I wanted to write of my experience being in a country that that was just so open, so friendly and welcoming, and I wanted to do something different, like just it's Ola. I know it's so generic, but it's a different thing for me. So I was just like, okay.
When did you start writing?
I started writing, I think around the age of 18. Um, I started because I was in this like competition to in from a record label back in Singapore, that if you won the competition, you would get a recording contract. And I wanted to stand out, so I started learning how to write songs and how to produce songs. But then I came in second place, and I didn't get the recording contract. I was so close, but
it's great practice. You learned how to write.
I learned how to write the songs, and I think that was the greatest gift from that experience.
Well, it sounds like each thing you've done has been a gift, sort of the experience that you've gained from it.
I think I only discovered that later. When
Right.
I'm going through the process, I'm always like, oh sheesh, I wish I went a little further ahead. But yeah, I always look back and I realize like it's always like more, like it gives you more than you expected.
And did you get to sing that song that we're talking about in front of 44,000 people?
I did. Yeah, I sang in my country in the national stadium, and that experience was so nice, to be able to be in front of my country, and I felt like a sense of achievement, that after traveling so much to different countries and learning about music, that I finally got to go back home and be in front of my people.
I mean, that's and not a small amount of people. 44,000 people is a lot of people.
It was quite, but it's also interesting because like people were all so far away in the stadium, so it felt like I was seeing little stars, because specks, like stars. Yeah, they were so far away. I felt like where's the coziness? Where's the why are you guys making me stay up so far away from you?
That's so funny. Who are some of your musical influences?
I love Coldplay a lot. Growing up, I always listened to their music. It's just
my husband too. My husband too is a big Coldplay.
Yeah, yes. It's the music. Like the music is so beautiful, apart from the lyrics. And I love that they always write about songs that are uplifting, like they give.
We were driving this weekend in the car, and one of their songs came on, and he basically told me I was lucky that I knew who it was. He was testing me, and I knew who it was. So it was.
He's like, I played you enough of this. You better know.
I better know. Yeah, I mean, and his new song I love, the Higher. Is it Higher?
Yeah, Higher Power.
Higher Power. Love.
Yeah, it's so nice. Love. Love.
So good. It's a great song for the summer.
Yeah. Hey, do you mind if I just like slightly clean my camera just to see if it makes a difference? I don't know.
Sure. You don't.
Hi guys. Sorry guys. I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference. Clear. Actually, it does, huh?
No, it might be the sun or something, but
the reflection from it.
The reflection could be causing that too. Yeah. So when did you realize that you were gay? I mean, how young were you?
I mean, I started realizing really like when I was maybe 8. I was just always very drawn to, like, I used to play video games, and I kind of still do sometimes. It takes up a lot of my time. And I'm a gamer with a Y in there. So I used to play games, and
with a Y in there, I just got it.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
I
got it.
And then, yeah, good. I'm glad you did. And then I should pause a little to let you process that before going. And so I used to look at like the male characters in games, and I would go, "Wow, that's hot," and like, "Ooh, that's sexy," and so I realized that from playing games that I started like male figures, um, and then I started realizing, like, I went to school, and I was in a mixed school, girls and guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have like girls, kind of like come up to me, and then what they were extra friendly, and and I would never be kind of like attracted to them, so it was I
Not
I discovered it.
interested. Not
Just
interested. But you
yeah,
also you grew up in Singapore where it was very difficult to be out. I was reading or listening to one of your interviews where you talk about the Singapore Law 377A. Can you
yeah.
tell people watching what that is?
Yeah, there's a law in Singapore called the 377A that criminalizes any adult consenting males who have sex. So basically, if you're a man and you have sex with another man, you could be jailed for up to 2 years. And that law is not being practiced, but it's there just
And
because.
it's still in existence today.
Yes, it is, and
Wow.
it's they said that it's there just because, like, a certain group of people do not really uh, accept that, and so they just have to keep that there to just kind of like make sure everybody's happy.
Hmm.
But having the law there is just you know Singaporeans are very law abiding. We're It's just like we grew up in a society where the law is so important, and so it's like people are really afraid to break the law. Like, it's like a big thing. Um, you know, um, Growing up in that environment, it's always felt like, oh no, we're if I'm gay, then I'm breaking the law. There's a law that goes against that, and
Wow.
it feels um, it feels unsafe, just because, and there was a lot of insecurities just because that you're not protected.
Right.
um, and there are a lot of cases where LGBT people have been raped, and they can't tell the police because they're worried about being, number one, exposed, and there's no anti-discrimination law against that helps to protect LGBT individuals from housing or from workplace. And so, like, a lot of them end up hiding it because they don't want to be fired from their jobs or kicked out of their families, or jailed. So
Hmm.
it's very sad to grow up that way, because a lot of us love our country so much, and but we always feel like, oh, we're not part of it because
You don't feel
there's
welcome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you were the only son in your family, which means a lot in Singapore, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Like, in my culture, it's just the only son. The son in the family normally carries the family title, and so being gay, uh, you know, uh, people can't be open about that, and so you're not able to, you know, in other words, you're bringing shame to the family. So yeah, it's a very
That's a lot
um,
on a young person to have to know that that's, you know, could be an issue if you come out, and then the law is a scary thought as well.
You're very right. Yeah, it's well said, because like, for a lot of people growing up, they just like I didn't have any role models in media that I could look up to, because it was just LGBT contents were censored. So I had to discover that on my own, and a lot of LGBT kids had to just secretly live kind of like a second life,
Hmm.
and also, like, there's just like, it was because of that, it was hard to be educated about things like STDs, and all sorts of things like that, because, like, We had no idea. So where do you learn? You know?
Right, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
and that's why I think it's so impressive, um, that you are now living very, openly out and proud of who you are, because it is really important that other young folks now can look to you where you didn't have anyone to look to.
yeah. I'm just really I'm very grateful because all of my friends and that have been just so supportive. They are who they're just themselves, and by being themselves, they have inspired me to be myself. And a lot of them shared with me their stories. Like when I first came to the States, I when I went out to the gay bars, I felt like, oh my god, I could be myself here. It's okay. Like, and I was still a little
I
awkward.
love I love that story of you being in California and going to the bars and,
Yeah,
amazed to see people just living.
yeah, and it took me some time to adjust to that, to being okay with that,
Oh,
because
I'm sure. I mean, it's sort of new. It's a new environment. Me too. I remember, I came out before you, but I went to the bar for the first time. A friend
yeah.
invited me. I remember, we'll never forget that. I ran inside because I was afraid of being seen going in,
Oh, I see.
because
Yeah.
it was not really it, it was near my house, but like 20 minutes from my house, not like near, but
Oh, yeah.
you never
You
know who
didn't
might
want
drive
to be
by.
like near you. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you never know who might drive by and see you go in, but that's a long time ago. Do you remember the name of the bar, your first bar?
It's the Abbey.
Oh, great.
The
I love
Abbey,
the
yeah.
Abbey.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love the
yeah.
Abbey.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
When I first went
And
to the Abbey didn't really, I don't think it did dancing back then when I first went, but I know you can.
I think yeah, it used to be like smaller, and then they started opening it
Yeah.
up to bigger, and yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
one of my favorite places in Calo,
Oh, the
I love
drinks
that
is
place.
strong.
So what was it like coming from Singapore to the USA, and the culture shock of that?
um, it's I when I first came to the USA for music school at the Musicians Institute, I did a 6 months course for to learn how like an artist course
Is
to
that in
learn.
California?
That's in California, and in Hollywood. And so it was so interesting because the teachers would always ask us like at the end of the class, like, do you guys have any questions? And everybody would raise up their hands, and they would ask questions. You have a question to you have a question, you ask, you find out. And that was a shock for me because in Singapore, when I was growing up in education, um, every time when the class finishes and the teacher asks like, does anyone have any questions, and nobody would raise their hands up because it's like a cultural thing I'm not sure about it now, but that was back then. It's a thing that you're supposed to discover it on your own and you shouldn't ask.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's almost like I've learned the most beautiful thing that I've learned in this culture in the US is that you have a voice, use it, and since then I've just it was difficult for me to raise a voice in the beginning, but I started doing more and more, and I realized like that's the culture that everybody express themselves, and
Hmm.
they use that as a tool to communicate, and that's so important.
And you're
Yeah.
doing so. I mean, you're doing so through music, but you're also doing so by living your life. Like I see what you put up on social media during Pride Month and all of that. So, bravo to you for taking that lesson and running with it, because you are, and you're living here, and you should use your voice.
Thank you.
Your
And
your voice can, make positive changes because of what you share and what you sing,
bravo to you for sharing with me this platform to make a difference, to share the story.
Anytime, anytime. So, who was the first person you came out to?
Ah, I came out to the first person I came out to was my sister,
Oh, that's awesome.
my older sister. Yeah, she's very cool. She's the coolest in the family. Like she was always like the one with the most friends, and she always knew like the new songs that were coming out, and she was always on top of things. Yeah, she was just like, oh, okay, like, you know,
I love
I was
that. I
like,
love
she said, is our family gonna be okay? And I was like, I don't know, but we'll find out.
that. If you are, and then you met Randy Jackson, right?
Yeah, yeah. I met Randy Jackson when I was filming my music video in downtown Los Angeles, and yeah, he
And
was.
you knew who he was immediately.
Yes, I did because when I was a kid, I used to watch American Idol all the time, and I always loved like listening to his comments and his
His
yeah, and
advice.
so
Yeah,
his advice exactly. And
yeah.
then I was like I was shocked because yeah, it was like what's he doing here? Like oh my gosh, it's Randy Jackson, and yeah, so he came in and he was like, hey, I heard the music, you know, like because it was playing in the background when we were filming the music video, and he said, hey, you want to sit down for a coffee and talk about music? I was like, yeah, oh, I would love to. And then we sat down for coffee another day and we discussed about music, and he was like, you know, he asked like, would you be interested in working together? Like it would be like an east and west thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like yeah, this is crazy. So yeah, and we did a single, and then I went to perform at the New York Fashion Week, and then I went to perform.
And which song was that you performed?
That was Back to Life.
And
Yeah,
you've written everything that you've performed. Is that correct?
that's correct. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing,
Thank
amazing.
you.
And you came out to him before you came out to your record company, right?
I did. Yeah, he was so sweet. I was. It was it was so nice. It was my birthday, and he he got one of my other one of this writer friends, and then we all went to a club in Hollywood, and then he was just celebrating like my birthday for me, and that night I was like, oh, he's so sweet. It's like you could be doing so many other things, but you just like came for my birthday, um, and then and that night I told him, I said, hey, Randy, you have something so important to tell you. Like, I want you to tell you like something about me. And I said, and I was also a little tipsy too. It helped. And I said,
That helps.
yeah. Because someone that I really look up to. He's such a great man, so wise, and I was worried that I would lose him. And so I told him, hey, Randy, I just want you to know that I'm gay, and I'm not happy because I can't be myself in front of the in front of the media, like especially in my country. And he said, oh, you know what? Like, I love you no matter what. Like, and that's okay. It's not an issue at all. And and so I told him, hey, yeah, I told him that I wanted to take some time to discover that side of me because I never had the chance to as a kid growing up in um, yeah,
In
Singapore. And
Singapore.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
got to live, a little by being in California.
a lot. I got
Good for you. Good for you.
yeah, I did. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
can you tell everybody the impact of Elton John's "Your Song"?
Yes,
I loved hearing that because I do love that song.
uh, I was, one night I went home at around 3 a.m. after going out to the bars and enjoying being myself, and um, I pulled up YouTube and I was searching for songs, and Elton John's "Your Song" was there, and I clicked on it, And then the verse came up and it says, I'm not one of those who can easily hide. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. Like it's I was carrying that energy for so long of hiding. And I felt like this song was speaking to me, and or the universe was speaking to me through the song. And then the chorus came, and the end of the chorus says like, "How wonderful life is when you're in the world." And I started bawling my eyes out, and I looked like a bullfrog. You know, I looked at the mirror. I was like, "Oh my god!" You was like, I look like a bullfrog crying, and then I started crying more because I looked like a bullfrog, and it was funny. So I was like crying, but also like laughing at the same time because I looked so funny. But I was so moved by John's song. It's so nice that someone would write a song like that, and I could just feel, I felt a release, and
And that was was that the first time you heard that song?
It was the first time I heard that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Singapore, it's just you know, growing up, I heard a lot of like top 40 songs, so it was mostly like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys.
I mean, because that was an old song.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I'm sorry to Elton John fans that it took so long for me to discover that song. Yeah, but I'm glad
But you did, and it is a brilliant song.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful song. It's so nice. And from that day onwards, I decided that I didn't want to hype anymore. I don't want to live a life of hiding. And there's Elton John is living his life, being himself, and singing a song that helps people to release. And I wanted to do the same.
Hopefully, one day you'll get to tell him that in person.
I would love that. Yeah.
I mean, that truly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you said it earlier how you can move people with music and words, and you know, he did more than that for you. I mean, he really changed your life in that respect. He changed my life. Yeah,
and I was at a Brandy Carlisle concert about 2.5 years ago in downtown LA. And he showed up in the concert, like he was sitting behind, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But I didn't want to bother. I didn't want to bother him because I would love to like share with him the story, but I was just like, I didn't want to bother him in the concert. So I hope one day I'll have that chance to let him know that. Yeah, it was so nice. It was so nice.
And so that helped you make the decision. And you went back to Singapore and told the record company. I assume there were nerves involved. You know, you must have been nervous a little.
Oh yeah, super. I was worried that because there isn't many LGBT singers out in Asia because of just the culture that doesn't accept that, and so I didn't know what to expect. And I was worried that I'm doing something that I love, and it was a dream come true for me to be a recording artist that I've worked so many years and so hard for, and I never gave up for that. I was worried that I could in any way lose that, and
you know, I assume, because I think we all would. It crossed your mind that could happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah. That was.
I mean, that's the horrible thing that even has to cross our mind. I mean, you know, I even think about coming, you know, in some respects coming out, how we all think we're going to lose either family or friends, and sadly, some kids really do lose a parent who kicks them out, or. You know, but I had.
Can I share with you this story that I really want to share with you right
now?
Yeah. So after I did an interview with like a BuzzFeed interview, one of the fans wrote to me 2 days ago, and he said, "Hey, I just want you to know that because of the interview, I came out to my family, and I'm living the life that like you gave me the hope to live a life of his city, and he said my mom was really supportive, but unfortunately my dad raged, and he got really angry, and the dad kicked him out of the home, and and he said, thank you so much, I'm so happy, that I'm doing something for myself, and like I can finally be me. It took so many years of repression, like I just couldn't be myself in front of anyone. I was living a life that someone else, like people, that what society wanted of me instead of for myself. And he said that he was going to seek refuge in another country that accepts him for who he is. And that broke my heart.
Horrible.
That
I
broke my
mean,
heart.
beautiful that your words helped somebody, but horrible that his family
kicked him out of his home.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, we're living in 2021. That should not happen anymore.
Yeah, it's but it's just, it was, I don't know. I was so happy that he did something for himself, but at the same time I felt so terrible that, you know, his dad did that.
Hopefully his dad comes around before it's too late, you know?
Yeah. It's a society that the dad was brought up in, and the culture that taught him that is wrong. Yeah.
You know, when you told the record company and you know, they told you you no longer had a contract, I mean, it must have been traumatizing, you know, and
yeah, I didn't know what to, I felt, it was it was traumatizing. I actually went on, like, to having, you know, I would never talk about this just because, like, in my country, like, growing up, it's like this is like stigmatized really badly. But I needed to work on it. I was so traumatized. I actually ended up working with a therapist for about a good 3 months.
So you're saying in your country, people won't talk about the fact that they go to a therapist?
Growing up there, it's like it seemed like it's a mental, like you have your mental illness. That
for anybody listening, therapy helps.
Oh my God, therapy helps. It really helped me.
Helps.
It really helps. It's a place where you can break down those walls, and you can really get to the root of what's causing the unhappiness and talk about it, and seeing it from a different perspective. It's really fully accepting that pain that you have and healing from there. Because if you don't accept it and you don't address it, it would just come back in other forms, you know. And
well, good for you. You know, I mean, you know, to do something in a country that it's not typically accepted. You know, you noticed you needed to do something and you did it, and look at where you are today.
I actually did it just also because my friends in the States, like, they were all talking about, oh, I just saw my therapist today, and we were talking about this, and I was like, wow, you talk about a therapist, it's your best friend. And so it was from that I got like, oh my God, my friends have that, and I realized more friends have that than not.
Don't.
Yeah. So I was like, whoa, am I missing out on something? So I gave it a try. Yeah, and it really helped. Yeah.
You know, everybody can use somebody to talk to who's objective, and
yes,
you know, I know a lot of people have an objection. Some people have an objection to it, which, you know, it really, I think, if done right, can help everybody. I mean, I mean, there's so much we go through in life that's just from coming out to losing parents, to losing a friend, to, you know, marriages, divorce, you know, so many things that, you know, it's not always easy to process those things. You know,
it is.
If you don't have,
it is not.
Yeah, if you don't have the right tools, if you're not, I don't know, like, you know, we don't learn every lesson in our education that can help you deal with certain things that come at you in life. And in my
Yeah,
opinion, why not seek the help before, before it gets worse or something.
you're right, and I think seeking help is also the acceptance that you acceptance of an issue that you do need help to work on. It's like instead
Hmm.
of pushing it under the rug. And also, the best thing I've learned from having a therapist for my trauma of being dropped by the record label was that I've learned how to communicate with people. I've learned how to speak of my internal thoughts and feelings, and it's helped me to just be a better communicator, which I feel is so
Well,
essential in
in what you
today's world.
do as a
And
songwriter.
as a songwriter, yeah, like to
Yeah.
be able to
You
communicate
know,
my thoughts and my feelings. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, completely. So this happens. Forget that, effing record label. Now you're on your own. What made you decide to do this independently? Where did you get the strength to, get back up on that ladder and tackle this on your own?
I yeah, I was just in so much pain for so many months, and I think it's also the gift of songwriting is that you're able to put your pain into a song, into music. And so I told myself that I didn't want to carry that energy in me anymore to suffer in what in what was done unto me that was very unfair. Um, and so I put that energy into writing a song named "Open Up, Babe," and I decided that I wanted to like film my first music video as an openly gay artist. And so I released "Open Up, Babe," and then I didn't know what to expect, and then I started getting support from Billboard, which debuted the music video. Um, I sent it to a couple of LGBT press and to tell them about my story. As like I in the hope that they would share it with other people so that it could help inspire those who are trying to be themselves and who are going through the same journey. And I started getting more and more support from these press and they're sharing my music and then it just became um, so
Tell us the story of Open Up, Babe.
Open Up Babe is a story of I just felt like I was closing up myself. Oh my god, I love Diet Coke. I wish I had some too.
Me too. Too
Yeah.
much, but I've cut back. I promise.
Oh, how many do you drink a
uh,
day?
Barely one or two today.
Good.
I used to
Okay, good.
drink like five. I now do
No, it's
coffee in
really
the
bad.
morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do coffee, 2 cups of
Okay.
coffee in the morning,
Okay.
and sometimes go without Diet Coke.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Try not to drink caffeine after 2 p.m. because
I know. I am today. I do not do it. I've been good because it really.
Okay, good, good.
I was a really hard. I drank a lot of Diet Coke, but
Yeah.
I
I
digress.
used to
Go
do that
back.
too.
Yeah, a lot. So, but
Yeah,
go back to
yeah.
Open Up, Babe.
Okay. Okay. And so
This is
I
your story, not
yeah,
mine.
okay. I wanted to tell you about caffeine and sleep, but okay.
I know it's bad.
Yeah. And so I was closing up myself to the world because of so much pain, and I realized that it was the same feeling of when I was in the closet that I would always be hiding and thinking about, oh shit, like is someone gonna find out that I'm gay? Because of that hiding, that closing up yourself, it made my life so miserable. So, and I realized like I don't want to be. I was feeling the same way and after having the trauma of being dropped by the record label, that I didn't want that anymore. I don't want that for myself. Like, well, I don't want to put myself through this pain, and I have to open up myself to beyond, to see beyond this pain, that what it has in that for me that I could use to lift myself and people up. So that song is about opening up yourself to the world, and and not closing up. And I feel like yeah.
And did you create the music video? Was it your idea for the premise?
Yeah, I called a friend of mine, Rob, and I was like, hey, I want to do my first gay music video. I just came on and it was dropped by label. Do you think you can be part of it? And
is that the hottie in the video?
That's the audio in the video, Rob. And he had no experience acting or any sort, and he was just like, I would love to. And
so he's not an actor.
Not at all.
Wow.
It was all natural. Like
I'm gonna watch it again after this.
it was just both of us being like, oh my god, let's like have fun out in public, and it was just all natural. There was nothing planned. Like they were just like play the music, and then we were just like, okay, let's just be in the moment and see what comes out of it. And so that's a beauty of art, and I was so grateful to Rob, so grateful. And that song, when it was released, it was interesting because a lot of news in Asia that wouldn't write about things like that, they approached me, and there were people who were gay that were working in as journalists, and they wanted to find a way to share the video, even when there was like a couple of, I won't mention the names of the press, but news that ended up sharing the music video and the story, even though they were not supposed to talk about LGBT stuff. And
what do you mean?
So there are a couple of press or media that are not that oppose LGBT contents in Asia, but because there were LGBT journalists, they wrote to me that it was defying the laws.
I love that.
And they did that somehow anonymously.
Amazing.
It's so nice to see the LGBT people who want to make a difference as well. So they stood up. So from that, I realized the magnitude of what coming out as and being dropped by the label can do.
Yeah, I mean, but also your honesty in music, in storytelling, moved those journalists to want to share your story and to risk, I would think, their jobs to some degree, right? I mean, think about that.
I think it's just like it's just also. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they were moved by what you were sharing, lyrically and visually, for them to want to write about it.
I think it's also just more also the fact that a lot of us are tired of living under oppression.
That kind of oppression, yes. Yeah. So this June for Pride, you wrote another beautiful song.
I did, yes.
Tell us.
Thank you.
Tell us.
I wrote Someone Who Loves You. Yes, it's. I wrote this song because after coming out and being out and proud, I've experienced life in a way that so many of my friends and just we all realize like, oh, it's the same thing. We all want someone to love us for who we are. And over the past 2 years, it's just like the amount of people that have given up even in wanting to find a relationship it's alarming. Like the amount of people who say, okay, I don't mind living like single for the rest of my life just because I'm so used to it. It's so difficult. And and also from their experiences in dating apps and stuff like that. It's just like it hasn't been smooth at all. So I I decided that I wanted to remind every one of us that, you know, it's of that energy of having, it's what you put in your mind. If you really are, if you think like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna have someone, and no matter what experiences you have, your mind already set the tone for it. It's not gonna happen. But I want everybody to be reminded of that you can have someone that loves you for who you are, and that's very, very possible. And so I wrote this song, and um, I reached out to Andrew Herring, who's the dancer and choreographer, very
And
handsome man,
another hottie.
very handsome hottie. And
You find the very handsome man to join you on screen. Why not?
he went.
It's your video.
He and I actually found him because number one, he knew how to choreograph a dance. I saw his videos and I was like, I really hope that he would be able to do movements like this in the video. And I met up with him and I shared with him my story. Actually, no, I first wrote to him on Instagram. I said, hey, I got dropped by my label. I'm independent, you know, but I wrote the song and I really want to be able to inspire our community. Do you think you'd be interested? And he just right away said, hey, I would love to be part of this and it would be my pleasure. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so loved and supported because like, I was like, oh my God, it's in the beginning, I was like, it's going to be hard to like do everything on my own. But then when something like this happened, thank you, Andrew. You're so sweet. He just, we met up together and I told him the story and he was like, okay, let's come up with some movements. And then we started moving together and then we came up with some like flowy ideas and it was so smooth. Like Andrew made the video. Like he made the whole essence of the feeling, you know, the movements of feeling loved and to give and so I'm just beyond words, like grateful for that experience.
Well, I put the link up. People can find your music here on the Linktree.
Thank you.
They can do that and watch the video. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful video. How important was it for you to release it during Pride Month?
Oh, it's key. Like I wanted to end Pride Month with a you know, a celebration of who we are as LGBT people and in love. You know, remember I wanted to end it in a way that like it's all about, like, at the end it's love. It's, you know, it's like we go through so much as LGBT individuals. We go through so much but love is above that all. You know, we have to all remember that that's what we were here for, and so I wanted to end on that note.
That's great. I love that you're doing this independently, that you're one of my favorite independent artists, I don't know if you know him, is Bright Light, Bright Light.
Yes, I do. I love Bright Light, Bright Light. Yeah.
He's been a guest on my show. I've gone to see him many times perform live, but he also opened for Elton John.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. But, you know, at some point you two should, you know,
I'll buck him. Hi.
great music if you haven't heard, but you've heard. Yeah.
I did not know that he's independent. Wow.
He is. He does. Yeah. Wow. So that's why you should look up what he does, because he really works really hard and he is an independent, and he might have even started his own independent label. I can't recall, but I would definitely explore that and look at what he's done. But you know, there might be some opportunities for you.
I love the.
Who you froze?
Oh,
1 second, it'll come back. Oh, I hope it's coming back. Yeah, there you are. I think.
Okay. You're still moving for me on the side.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask before I let you go, Pride Month just ended. Today in 2021 for you, Wils, what does pride mean?
Pride means that you don't let anyone tell you who to love. You decide for yourself. And pride is taking the heart and soul of who you are and being that in front of everybody, no matter what the circumstance is, because that inspires other people too. That is for me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Seriously. I'm inspired by you. I really appreciate you spending time with me. I will continue to follow you and we'll continue to stay friends.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and this platform. And also, I want to ask, like, if this is the locker room, am I not dressed for the part?
Say it again.
If this is the locker room, am I not dressed for the part?
We're both not officially dressed. This is a little too dressy for the locker room.
Let's go.
I'll meet you at the Abbey.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love
Hurry
that.
up.
Or Rage.
Hurry up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I used to like Rage 2 on Santa Monica. Is that still there?
It's still there, yeah.
It is. I'm going to ask you one more time. Can you repeat what you said for Pride? Because now the internet worked perfectly.
Yes. Pride for me is not letting anyone. Sorry, let's say it again. Pride for me is not letting anyone tell you who to love. You decide who to love. And you take who you are as a person, as a soul, and be that in front of in any circumstance. Because by being that, you completely inspire others to be as well. That's pride for me.
That's amazing. What's next for you? Are you?
I'm working on an album, and it's a lot. Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
Well, gamer with a Y. You need to put down the games.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it. Just because like sometimes I do play games and I'm like I should be. It's taking a lot of time. You got it. You nailed it so hard. Oh my gosh.
And are you looking forward to getting out and performing live again?
Yes, very much so.
Now that
very
we
much
can.
So.
Now that we can.
Yes.
Looking forward to connecting. Keep posted if you make it to New York to perform. I would love to see you.
And, yes, I would. Yeah.
That would be great. Have a great day, Wils. Thank you so much for being here. All right.
Thank you. See you guys.
Bye. Thanks so much for watching today. Don't forget to check out Wils' music. The link was up earlier. You can find Wils at Hey Wils on Instagram. And have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.